Welcome back, folks, here on the Believe in FCS Football podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone here with my former teammate, former roommate, Mr. Sean Anderson, only 15 minutes behind our usual attempted start time, which is a new record. I think is pretty good. Sean, how are you doing today?
Your 3-2-1 introductions are getting less and less climactic. So if I'm not focused, you're going to catch me with the time. And I really actually don't know that we're starting. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm like, okay, I guess we're on. Maybe say, hey, we're going live here. We're recording.
We'll do it live.
So keep it zipped.
F it, we'll do it live. That's what the new opens or my new countdown will be, is the Bill O'Reilly. So Sean, today we don't have an interview. We are going to be recapping the action at the Senior Bowl. We had a handful of prospects coming from the FCS that were in attendance. I was able to see a number of these guys up close and personal because I was there working and helping the Draft Network through my job at Believe, and then was able to watch the practices, also had access to the practice tape, watched some of the practice tape, and got my own opinions on how these guys did. So we're going to not go through probably super deep on all of them, but we're going to talk about the ones that left impressions that are worth noting. One guy in particular that I thought really, really struggled, but that's the antithesis of what we're going to be covering on today's episode. Before we do, though, Sean, betting.
Well, the first bet that I would have taken this past weekend was if Joe DeLeone knew about trains in the South.
Okay, wait. You came at me on Twitter, and that tweet got 10 likes, which is like the most run that you've gotten in a month on a tweet.
Oh, that's a very funny guy.
For context,
it's Andersen Radio on Twitter.
This train was the walkway from the convention center.
Why are you interrupting my read?
I have to explain it.
To get
Let me
into
just
my
explain
read.
it. Let me explain
it. Okay, fine. Take it. You want it, you got it.
There was a train track blocking the only path to get from the convention center to the parking garage. And the fact that you're saying I didn't understand why I was confused, why that was blocking the parking garage, and it sat there for an hour and I couldn't leave. What is so confusing about that?
Because you were like, trains run in the South. Trains are everywhere in the South. South Carolina, North Carolina, they're everywhere. And you're in Mobile, Alabama for what I'm guessing is the first time?
Second time.
Oh man. See, I haven't been to specifically Mobile, Alabama, but I have a working knowledge of the southern states and how they would operate. Trains, man. You go to South Carolina, University of South Carolina, there's trains just running through campus, and people have to hop through the trains to get to class because they will sometimes obstruct their pathway. It's how it works. Now, they're not moving when they're hopping through, but you got to understand that you got to plan for the train. And you were the only car parked behind the train?
I wasn't.
Oh, who else was with you?
Well, there were other cars that I don't know who the driver was.
I didn't hear anybody else complaining about the trains when down in Mobile, but for some reason it had to be Joe DeLeone's turn to be shocked by the world.
It was the timing of when I left. That was what it was.
Do you know anything?
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything either. I know that a train moving is something that I can't stop. So why would I even take a video and break it down?
Because I was exhausted and I was also dumbfounded.
Did you think the conductor would say, hey, look at this gentleman with the odd hair taking his phone out. Maybe I should stop this for him. No.
Well, he turned it around pretty quick. No, not really.
Rube. All right.
But what I do know about Sean is sports betting. I went on a very brief heater. I had 3 picks in a row, and then I've since lost every bet since. But
that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it. Fun. Well, the big game is finally here as we hit Super Sunday with the last game of the football season. As always, BetOnline has you covered from odds, scores, totals, player performance to props where the next fired coach is going to land. BetOnline is the #1 spot for all things NFL betting in 2022. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC odds coverage is the best in the business. From sports right to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. And everybody out there, if you have not hopped on yet, head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. They're giving you money for signing up. Just use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to get you started. The fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Now, Sean, if you're bad at betting and you want to invest in random things, you want to make some money, how about you invest in an exciting asset that outpaced the S&P 500 by 164% for 25 years? I'm talking about ART.
Oh, a
Masterworks
new
is the
Joe
new
read here.
investing
Oh,
app.
let me
Yeah,
listen
that
in.
lets
Hold
you
on.
invest in blue chip paintings from iconics. God damn it, icons like Picasso, Monet,
Oh, he's an
Warhol,
iconic, all right.
without
That dude is an iconic.
Shut the hell up. Without
He
needing
is
millions.
an iconic for sure.
Over 300,000 people have already signed up. Get priority access with our unique promo. Log on to masterworks.com. Masterworks.art/believe. That's masterworks.art/believe, BLEAV. See important disclosures at masterworks.io/disclosures. I also have to tell you folks about NordVPN.
Oh, another back-to-back. Let's go.
Back-to-back reads. What's more important than peace of mind? Nothing. I would love to have some peace of mind because Sean completely traumatizes me on a weekly basis, especially when I'm doing my reads.
Nice.
And that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind while you are online. And with all of the threats that you face today on the internet, it is important than ever, more important than ever, shut up, more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, most servers, and next-gen encryption to make sure that everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection ever, and plans start at under $4 a month. Grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus one additional month for free. It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, we did it. We got through the reads. FCS, football, sports. Sean, first guy I want to talk about, and one guy I know that you definitely want to talk about, Trevor Penning, who UNI offensive lineman. Some people are saying he's a possible top 15 pick. Some people are saying he's a first rounder. More likely going to be a day 2 guy. He didn't have the best week out of the FCS players. I was more impressed by Cole Strange, who we're going to talk about in a sec. But the thing with Penning that became a headline is how aggressive he was during these one-on-ones and during team drills. Now, there's the play where he threw a guy into Desmond Ritter's lap, which is not good. But there is also a lot of plays where the whistle, you get the echo of the whistle, and he's still throwing guys around. He's dropping dudes, shoving them into the ground. And he very clearly was the angriest man in Mobile, Alabama, except from me waiting for the train. I want to get your thoughts because we talked about it late last night about that demeanor.
Yeah.
What did you take away from that?
It's a take no shit demeanor. And if you're an FCS guy, you already have a chip on your shoulder walking into the Senior Bowl. It's just naturally there. And then from Northern Iowa, you're looking at, oh, here's Spencer Brown before me. He is a take no shit guy. And I'm going to go in here and see what he did. And then I'm going to do what he did. And obviously they're different players and they're different play styles, but Northern Iowa has a way of developing monsters at the offensive tackle position. So if they're cut a little bit from the same cloth, that wouldn't be a bad thing to advertise. Now, I mean, also you're fighting for jobs here. So aggression is going to happen, especially in the trenches. I understand if you're a safety, you don't want to go out and just completely level a wide receiver unnecessarily. Like sometimes we see in the NFL, it happens. It's football. Right. But you know, at the same time, you're fighting for jobs. So if you're not, then somebody else will, or someone else is going to appear hungrier than you. And we could talk about technique, strength. We could talk about all that, but there's some things you can't coach, and just having a dog mentality to go out there and just say, hey, you're not beating me. And if you do, it's the Dan Campbell. I'm going to get up, take a bite of your kneecap. I'm going to do it. It's a silly quote, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to stop being aggressive. It's an aggressive sport. And that's not a bad demeanor to have for an offensive lineman, I would say. It's pretty well requested. I know. It's funny, though, because Jonathan Ogden was always like a super quiet, like hearing old players talk about him. He's like, you just didn't want to make him upset. D lineman was just like, nope. He just sit there and laugh and then just toy with you because he's a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best offensive tackles ever. And defensive linemen are just like, okay, yeah, he's just super chill out there, just doing his thing, just treating it like a job. And some guys are just built like, okay, it's attack time. Going to go out and do it. Going to go out and just fight all day. So it's definitely, that's what makes it so fun because everyone's a little bit different. And Penning going out there and saying, hey, I'm a little bit different. I have to go prove something. Well, he did. And I think it'll benefit him. I do.
And for those that don't know, Senior Bowl practices, it's thud. It is not full contact for tackling, and it's not like he was a linebacker or a safety coming up and diving at people's ankles and knees and stuff like that during a thud period. Like that's a completely different level of dickhead. This is a one-on-one, and they're also in team drills where they're hitting, you're scrapping, you're fighting with guys. And he's not winning all these reps. There's some plays where he was losing and he looked kind of high and he was kind of reaching and stuff. But the thing for me is he's a lineman. He's blocking. It's the most aggressive position on the field. And you're talking about how some guys are a lot more calm despite being massive human beings playing this position. You do inherently need some level of aggression. And to establish that he has one of the few traits that you really can't coach into a guy, which is the two that come to mind are size and aggressiveness. Those are the two things that like you just can't coach. If you're undersized, you can't play at the next level. If you're not mean enough, you can't coach that into somebody. So to establish that he has that, I think that's a big deal. And I think that it's a positive for him, even though he was a little sloppy at times.
I agree, but I also saw him won some really quality reps. Who was the Ohio State end that he kept on battling with? They were going at it all week.
Haskell Garrett, I think, was the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was helping TDN cut and do some work on their clips. So like I was logging them for them. And there were some really cool up close shots where Haskell Garrett like wasn't even in and he kept just coming in to shit talk Trevor Penning, which was fantastic.
That's fun, man. I mean, at least it's fun for us watching it. It's not fun being up there with dude, looking down the barrel saying, "Oh, I might get put on my neck here."
the thing I didn't get though is Haskell Garrett didn't have a good week, so for him to like be jawing with Trevor Penning, who's just throwing kids, like I don't know what possesses that.
He's showing fight too. You know, it's not only on the offensive line; defensive lineman can be pretty mean sometimes.
No, not when you're getting your ass kicked.
That's
a little different. You can jaw and then kick ass. So another guy that there were some fun clips of him jawing with defensive linemen was Cole Strange. And Cole Strange had to have been my favorite lineman there the entire week because and you know you're gonna kind of like groan at me saying this. So he wears 69. He has the single bar face mask despite having the Revo Speed Flex, which I didn't even know they made the single bar. And then he's got no gloves, no tape, nothing. He's going bare hands, just fighting with dudes. And he didn't play any center in college. They bump him inside and he does a ton of snapping in one-on-ones and playing a lot of center. And I thought he looked great. I'm not in terms of his technique. I think you need to clean some stuff up a little bit, but he is a strong dude and he was going to battle with some of these guys. And I think he was a real true winner during this week of practice.
Yeah, I'm watching some of his stuff now. Good reset. He's very active with his hands, which is, I mean, huge plus because that means you're confident in having strength in your lower body. Yeah, geez, no tape, no gloves, nothing.
That was with a rain day too.
He's got very good body comp. I mean, it's like Kelsey playing center was what it looks like. But also, at least for the one-on-ones, you could tell like he's doing it like a good one-on-one. Like he's good at one-on-one. Here, he's going against, it looks like Travis Jones. Reach block, gets put down. It is what it is. It's a lost rep, but it happens. Yeah, no, he's got the quick twitch traits that are becoming really popular for offensive linemen. His feet are good. And it's just going to be a matter of, can you get wider? Because we look at Matt Hennessy in Atlanta, or at least I do. He came out of Temple. Strong upper body, strong enough lower body, but he's not that wide, and he's not as twitchy as he needs to be in the best position. So when he's facing like Chris Jones, it's going to be a bit of a problem because that's a dude that is top elite guy. So when you have that, you might need help. But it's not a bad thing. I know I said he winning a lot of one-on-ones. I said with a tone like it was a bad thing. But you kind of play a little differently than you do in one-on-ones and in the game. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. He's very, very good in one-on-ones, which It's not a bad reflection, but game tape, all that stuff is. I value that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I just felt that he had a lot of weight behind his pads.
Oh
in
yeah,
these one-on-ones.
no, it's great leverage.
Yeah, you see some of these other one-on-one reps if you go back and watch the practice film, where guys are getting like driven back, and like Travis Jones was doing that to a lot of guys. He was just completely driving him back, but like it felt like Cole Strange was preventing a lot of that. These guys that were trying to bull rush him head on, these nose tackles, and he was catching it like a grown ass man. Again, the no gloves thing, it's you got to be an extra kind of mean and tough to go out there without taping anything.
Yeah, and then additionally, if he can take the bull rush, that's good. And then I'm watching him go against, it looks like somebody from Oklahoma, 95.
That might be Perry and Winfrey.
I think so.
He was 98. He was 98.
Tries to go inside, try to go around. Yep, and he's just resetting himself, doing a good job. So he's got the fast enough lateral movement to help himself out. I mean, yeah, boom, stuck you. 92 from Wisconsin, I think, or Nebraska. Stuck his stupid ass. Yep, see ya. Boop, boop, boop. And yep, you're not getting anywhere. Nice fake spin. All right, get out of here. Good work, Cole Strange. That's a good senior day. Or Senior Bowl. That's some good. That's some good tape on him. That is going to make him money. And Corey Kinnan, I think, posted a lot of those. I think I follow him on Twitter. He posted a lot of those clips for him. So I just wanted to shout him out. And
Corey's a good guy.
Yeah.
Next year, Sean, I would like to. I don't know if we're allowed to repurpose practice footage, but next year, I think when we go, which I'm putting that out into the ether, and we both go, I think we should do a long form video of you breaking down tape on these FCS linemen, whoever's there next year. I think that would be great.
Oh yeah, I could do that. I mean, I just sat in the film room long enough. Like I think, like anybody, like it's so funny. Everybody that's ever played college football, or at least up to that level, or not to discredit people that stop playing at high school football, but it's just different when it becomes like a job like that. You're just kind of sitting there like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do. Like a little sister, she would have her high school football player friends over, and then they'd like come over and want to watch film with me and just say, what are we doing? I'd just be breaking it down. Okay, you made a good decision, bad decision, all this and that. They're like, why don't you coach? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't have the time.
Coaching's a different animal. It's not. You got to really be like coked up on football to be in the coaching. It's a different.
It's like I don't know if I have the merit to be a coach or to really break down the film either. Like, what did I ever do? I just listen to coaches forever.
Right, you got yelled at enough times that you know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So we got two more guys that made really strong impressions, and then we got like a couple other guys that just were there. Christian Watson was the big winner from the week. The North Dakota State wide receiver, enough so that when he runs in the 4.4s at the combine, he's probably going to be drafted somewhere in the second round. I'm putting that out there now. That's not a hot take. That's not unrealistic. Not enough people, I think, knew who he was at the end of the season. And then people started to kind of realize, the fake draft pundits started to kind of realize that he was a name. And you get the bozos that are like, he's the next Cooper Kupp. And that pissed me off a lot when people were saying that, because it's so lazy just to pick an FCS kid to be the next FCS kid to have a good career in the NFL. They're completely different players, and they come from completely different backgrounds. Cooper Kupp was a multi-record breaking All-American, and Christian Watson is a freakish athlete that really looked nice in these one-on-ones. And there were a lot of plays where, so for reference, he's 6'4". He's going to run in the 4.4s. He's got 10-inch hands. He's got long arms. He's lean. He's very fast. He's tough to track down. And the thing with Christian Watson that you got from these one-on-ones that he wanted to answer is, how does he do in these contested situations? How does he do making plays on the sideline? How are his hands? And he answered all those questions. He was one of the most dominant receivers next to Calvin Austin from Memphis. He looked really, really freaking good. And again, don't be shocked if this is a second-round guy.
It was the most buzz I saw. And maybe it's just because I follow so many guys that support the FCS and they're just throwing likes around. There was a lot of buzz about Watson this past week. It's the name that just kept on popping up on my timeline. Like, Christian Watson. I'm like, oh, he must be having a hell of a week. Then I see the tape. I'm like, that's kind of what he does. Old videos are being surfaced of him breaking a 70-yard touchdown run, just gliding. You're like, damn. Like, okay, now everyone's going to see how truly fast he is and how naturally smooth fast he is. It's a good week for him. He did look sharp. He looked like a wide receiver that you say, oh, wow, okay, he sticks out. He definitely sticks out. And he's got a great frame. We've been on him for a while. Yeah, we've been on him for a while.
Yeah, we have mentioned him, and every time that we've talked about North Dakota State, he's always a name that pops up. And frankly, he was underutilized just because they didn't throw the ball that much.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's going to be he definitely helped himself, at least with the buzz. I don't know. NFL guys are so weird. Scouts are so weird. Like, I don't know. I never know if they care about buzz or if they care about guys that are getting talked about a lot. I just don't know. But from my standpoint as a rube, I see that and say, oh, okay, I'll remember that a little bit more now that more people are talking about him. I think that's just how it works.
Right. Troy Andersen, Montana State linebacker, was a little bit of a later ad. But the resounding thought on him was, this is a guy who's a little bit new to the linebacker position. We've discussed on here how he is a transformed quarterback / running back who's an All-American, freaking athlete, moves to linebacker, and he does not play like a quarterback who's playing linebacker. He plays like a mean-ass linebacker from Montana State that flies upfield. He'll smack you. He'll lay a good hit on you. And he has those athletic traits that at the next level, he could turn into a really, really nice linebacker. And he's shown really, really good signs of progression that makes it really positive about him. It's just that he's very green to the position. So you're not going to draft him with the intent of, we're going to throw him out there immediately and he's going to make a splash as a rookie. In a couple of years, he's probably going to turn into what he's fully capable of. But Troy Andersen, another guy that had a nice week.
Yeah, he's any team is going to get better drafting that dude. They just are. He's going to be special teams ace. He'll be, I don't know, fullback that catches a bunch of touchdowns, tight end that catches touchdowns, linebacker that just wreaks havoc. He's whatever you want him to be. And he's as good as anything in this draft class as anybody else at the positions. You know, I'm sure if you wanted him to throw a seam route, you know, just 30 yards down, he just hit him right in the chest. It's a dude that you say, okay, someone's going to take him, and if it's not us, then we're not necessarily going to be screwed, but we're going to be filling up 3 players worth of what he could do. You know, that's how I see it as a mentality for the front offices going into this draft process, because who can be that versatile on both sides of the position and play with as much both sides of the ball and play with such ferocity on defense? I mean, you tell me that guy's a quarterback and you see him making those kinds of tackles and those kinds of just athletic tackling. I mean, there's tackling. People get in on tackles. You wrap up, you do what you do. There's shoulder tackles. There's arm tackles. Troy Andersen is tackling in an athletic way, which it's efficient. He's not going to miss him. He's going to do everything he needs to do because he's strong. He's got his core strength, Joe, on some of you could just tell that's where his strength to keep himself upright is going. On that 4th and 2 play versus who were they playing in the snow? It is past playoffs before the championship game. Yeah. He had a tackle on 4th and 2. Maybe it was the week before, and he just kept on extending because his core kept him up, and his body position was just exactly as it needed to be. So you're like, wow, that's an athletic tackle right there, and that's something that not a lot of guys can make. I mean, I don't know, 5% of dudes in college can make that tackle. Troy Andersen's one of them.
Yeah, Andersen's going to be a steal, and I like the way that you phrased that. Is teams are going to be regretting drafting some more complete guy like a Christian Harris who's been in Alabama, and it's like, oh, that's all nice and dandy. You drafted Christian Harris, but you missed out on Troy Andersen, who has the potential to be an elite linebacker. I kind of like seeing like maybe like Leighton Vander Esch, he'd be that type of a progression, even though he hasn't been doing that well recently. So we've got a few more guys that were there, and I'm kind of lumping these 4 people into 2 groups. Braxton Jones and Nick Zakelj. Jones from Southern Utah, Zakelj from Fordham. 2 offensive linemen. Braxton Jones, big, long guy. Thought he had a decent week. Nothing crazy. Zakelj, on the other hand, disappointed to say, I thought he looked soft. Didn't really get a whole lot from him. A lot of reps where the dude's getting beat. And you hate to see that with a guy who's coming from the Patriot League, where you're thinking, okay, he's got to go out there and prove that he's capable of going up against better talent. But instead, he looked like an FCS guy going against better talent. And again, that's disappointing as an FCS guy to characterize somebody like that, but it's the reality of it. And he was probably one of the bigger losers of the week.
I'm watching this right here. Got on a block, got off a block. It's all right. Let's see. He's going against Perry and Winfrey here. 1, 2, 3. And
That's like
got
an
drop
NFL.
back. Yeah, that's not too good. I heard good things about Perry and Winfrey.
Yeah.
I think. But here's the thing. Zakelj, I mean, he's got the makeup. He's got the legs. I'm looking at his body comp right now. Good. Yeah. Athletic ankles, athletic calves. That's what you like at an offensive lineman. Not too thin though. So you're not worried about anything. I guess you can't really control that, but it's at least a learning experience for him. I mean, it's not something where I would look at him and say, "Oh, he couldn't ever like get better or be someone that couldn't." Here's this reach block here. Let's see this. I'm sorry, this is ADD radio,
right? It's not like we're saying that, or I'm saying that
reach,
he's not going to make it in the NFL. It's just that he didn't look that great, and it's going to take him time to get used to going up against some dudes that aren't small ass defensive linemen from Lafayette.
Yeah, he's more athletic than he is strong here. Okay, gets out 1, 2, 3, and then he gets the reach. Good reach. Okay, backside reach block. Not too much pressure there. Yeah, he's doing okay. He needs to keep on getting better. I mean, but so does everybody else. He's definitely not a day one starting guy. I don't know how many guys. And
that might have been the most vague analysis that you've ever done on this show. He's got to get better, but so does everyone else.
No, here he's going against UCLA D lineman. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, getting put down. Yeah, he needs to get stronger on his backside. And this is not me casting stones. It's just me saying what I see here. But I mean, he's athletic enough to do it. He just needs to get stronger, is what I would say.
And hopefully he can. Last two guys.
Oh, and Braxton Jones, strong hands. Strong. I know. Yeah, he gave up a strip sack in the Senior Bowl. It happens. The other guys are getting paid too, or they will be getting paid too. They're on scholarship also. Whatever. He's got the makeup. I saw him. Whatever that one-on-one drill is, where it's like a reach block and not a pass block. He just the defensive lineman just went right into his chest and he swallowed him up. I'm like, he didn't even budge
because he's so long.
Budge. Yeah, he's got to get better on just protecting the edge. But everything else, like, okay, try to get past me. You try. Go ahead. Try going inside. You're not going to get there. Try going through me. Not going to happen.
Last two guys, we have the Sam Houston State gang, and Zion McCollum was already invited.
hey, thanks. We're tweeting during the show.
It was a great quote. It was one of your best quotes on the show. It's like the Trent Dilfer. You can't lose games and win in the NFL.
I know.
that was a fantastic quote.
I'm not even doing a show right now. I'm just doing like a stream of consciousness, watching these guys do their reps.
Right. Which shows how freaking prepared we are. Zion McCollum, safety from Sam Houston State, was already invited, and then Jaquez Ezzard gets the bump up from the NFLPA game midweek and gets invited and gets to participate for the remaining part of the week. I didn't get a whole lot of buzz from these guys and didn't really hear a whole lot. I was mostly caught up with the other guys that we mentioned at the top of the show, but not really any negatives. The thing with Ezzard is that he came late, so it's tough to make an impression coming in late with a group of guys that are already familiar with what the play calling is going to be for the week and already got into a rhythm with some of these reps. I mean, McCollum was okay, though. I thought he did a decent job in spots.
Yeah, looking at him here. I mean, he's an athlete. I mean, if you're at the Senior Bowl, you're there for a reason. And if a team is able to see something on you, I mean, God, he's got a great body comp here. That is, yep. All right, good. I'm all in. These coaches are going to take something away from every single player from what it is, because that's their job to do. And if you're looking at McCollum, you're saying, okay, we could do something with him, because you could do something with everybody on that field. And it's just whatever you can do, whatever coach at the next level is able to just tap into that, you're golden. Even if it's a backup role, even if it's a special teams role, doesn't matter. You're still getting better every single day, because that's your job. And then Ezzard, I thought he looked really good. He looked fast, which is what he needed to do, because we always said he's faster than what he looks. He's definitely quicker and shiftier. but he looked fast during the drills this past week.
Yeah, he was flying. That's going to be it from us on today's episode. We'll probably have an interview coming up on the next show, so stay tuned for that. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out, and we will talk to you later.